My daughter asked why the woman who looks like mommy cries in her room every night. My wife died giving birth to her. Sophie is 4. She's never seen her mother except in photographs. Emily hemorrhaged during delivery. The doctors tried everything. I held her hand as she slipped away. Our daughter crying in the next room, taking her first breaths, while her mother took her last. Sophie has asked about mommy before. I show her pictures. I tell her stories. I make sure she knows she was loved by a woman she'll never remember. But this question was different. Daddy, why does the mommy lady cry so much? What mommy lady, sweetheart? The one who looks like the pictures. She comes into my room at night and sits by my bed. She cries really quiet. I pretend to be asleep so she doesn't feel bad. My blood went cold. Someone had been coming into my daughter's room at night. Someone who looked like my dead wife. I installed a camera that evening, hidden on the bookshelf, pointed at Sophie's bed. I barely slept. At 2 a.m., the motion alert went off. I watched the footage on my phone. A woman walked into Sophie's room. She moved quietly, carefully. She sat in the rocking chair beside the bed, and then I saw her face. My hands started shaking. It was Rachel, Emily's twin sister. She sat there for an hour watching Sophie sleep. Sometimes she'd reach out and touch Sophie's hair. Sometimes she'd whisper things I couldn't hear. And yes, she cried. Quiet tears streaming down a face identical to my wife's. Rachel and I hadn't spoken since the funeral. She'd stood in the back, unable to look at Sophie, unable to look at me. She'd left before the reception. I assumed she blamed me somehow. Blamed the baby. Blamed everyone for being alive while her twin wasn't. I confronted her the next day at her apartment. She opened the door and immediately knew why I was there. Sophie told you. I saw the camera footage. How long have you been doing this? Since she was 3 weeks old. She let me in. The apartment was covered in photos of Emily. Every wall, every surface, a shrine to her dead sister. After the funeral, I couldn't function. Emily and I did everything together. We talked every day. We finished each other's sentences. When she died, half of me died with her. She sat down heavily, but I couldn't stay away from Sophie. She's the last piece of Emily that exists. So I started coming at night. I have a key from when Emily and I used to water each other's plants. I just sit and watch her breathe, make sure she was okay. For 4 years? You've been coming into my house for 4 years? Not every night, just when the grief gets too heavy. When I need to see Emily's eyes looking back at me. She wiped her face. Sophie has her eyes. Exactly. Sometimes she makes expressions in her sleep that are pure Emily. It's like watching my sister dream. I didn't know what to feel. Violated, touched, confused, angry. Why didn't you just ask to see her? Why sneak around like a ghost? Because seeing her when she's awake is harder. When she's awake, she talks, she laughs. She does things Emily will never do. But when she's asleep, she's just peaceful. She's just Emily's daughter, not a reminder of everything Emily is missing. She broke down. I wanted to be part of her life. I wanted to be the aunt who teaches her things and takes her to movies. But every time I look at her, I see the birth that killed my sister. I see what Emily traded her life for. And I love Sophie desperately, but I also can't stop grieving what her existence cost. 4 years of secret visits. 4 years of watching her niece sleep because she couldn't bear to watch her live. Sophie calls you the mommy lady. She's not scared. She pretends to sleep so you won't feel bad about crying. Rachel looked up. She knows I'm there. She thinks you're some version of her mother, a woman from the pictures who visits her at night. Rachel started sobbing harder. I'm not trying to replace Emily. I'm just trying to hold on to her. Sophie is the only place she still exists. I sat down beside her. Emily would hate this. You know that. She'd want you to be in Sophie's life for real. Not as a ghost. Not as a crying stranger in the dark. I don't know how. Then let me help you. That was 6 months ago. Rachel comes to dinner every Wednesday now. She takes Sophie to the park on Saturdays. She's teaching her to paint, something Emily loved. Sophie calls her Aunt Rachel. She asked once if Rachel was mommy's sister. I said yes. She said that made sense because they have the same smile. Rachel still cries sometimes, but now she does it in the living room while Sophie shows her drawings. Now she does it while hugging her niece instead of watching her from a rocking chair in the dark. Emily's twin spent 4 years grieving alone. Now she grieves with us. And somewhere in that shared grief, she's finally learning to love what Emily left behind without feeling guilty for being alive to love it.